It is just 12 days before the first round of voting in the Kiribati election. Don Wiseman spoke with our correspondent in Kiribati, Rimon, about some of the features of the election, which will include 114 candidates, down slightly from the last poll.
I think it will always be around this number, as each constituency have certain number of candidates who can run, depending on their population. So I think this time round, it's quite interesting to learn that there's 3 electorates that don't need any contesting because there's just only one candidate running from there, which actually were the incumbent candidates.
So a surprise?
I think it's quite a surprise in a sense that I haven't seen that in my lifetime here in Kiribati growing up, seeing a constituency where only one candidate enjoys no need to campaign and all that. This is quite new, but I think one common element about these candidates is they are currently from the ruling party. So I don't know if that has any relevance or not, but it's a good point to note.
And a significant number more women contesting. How successful are women normally in Kiribati elections?
Well, having women in parliament is nothing new. We've had that since, independence and all that. But if we're talking about numbers, then that's where the discussion should be. I think over the years, as you understand, Kiribati is a patriarchal society, so men usually have that upper hand when it comes to decision making or under meeting houses. It's quite surprising and also welcoming to see that 18 women are running in the current elections, which shows this is a great number compared to previous elections. I think compared to last year, the numbers was much lower. This year we're having 18 females running from the capital, which I think tells a lot about why these women are so motivated to run for parliament.
Because of conditions in Taurua?
Well, I'm sure nobody just wakes up one day and says, hey, I might just try this and see how it goes. I think people are compelled to run for several reasons. One interesting fact about these women, 3 of them are lawyers. I think this says a lot about the current election and perhaps the rule of law in Kiribati. You understand there's been some controversy with the judiciary, within the last term, this current administration. And actually, these women, one of them is a staff with the Attorney General office, which is government's lawyer, legal support services. The other 2 run their own private legal firms, and legal firms are quite popular here with a lot of civil cases going on, and there's a lot of jobs to be done there. But for them to forego that and run for parliament, I think that tells a lot about why they are doing that. It's really interesting to learn why, as lawyers, women with legal backgrounds are running for parliament.
Look, we're just a week or so out from that first election on the 14th. Have party positions been revealed? Does that happen in Kiribati, or is it all local issues that candidates talk about?
The party affiliation is more like, especially during elections time, is more like the big elephant in the room. It's right there in front of you, but nobody really mentions it. And that is due because people or candidates running for parliament would want to get re-elected first or elected first from their constituency. And it's really hard to gauge, for example, for one island, which way are they aligning to, whether it's with a current ruling party or with opposition, So it's really a safe bet for candidates to run, and most of them are doing that, saying that when I get re-elected, my party affiliation will be decided by you. So I will come back again with you once I'm elected, and then I will choose my party which you want. And so, a lot of these people running, I know a lot of them. Some have been public servants for some times, and personally, I know their affiliation. These are my own personal observations. I know their affiliations and values and principles that they support, and I kind of know where they stand. But these can all change when they get elected, because ultimately the people decide that where they want their candidate or their elected nominee to be within parliament, whether in opposition or within the government side.
Now, you alluded to the issues in the judiciary and the removal of all of the senior judges from the country by the government, and there have been a number of other very controversial moves by this current government. Will those matters have an impact, do you think, overall on this election?
I think they will do, but I think there are other also pressing issues that would really matter for the people in this election. And talking about these, the majority of the population in Kiribati are grassroots people who live in the villages, who live within communities and who think about their daily subsistence lives and to get by each day with help from the government or with policies that are provided by government. Those are some of the deciding factors in elections. And of course, there has been controversial policies, debatable policies that open for debate. Opposition have been saying they're not sustainable. They're just draining out money and resources without equalizing that, generating revenue. I think that is one of the strengths of the current ruling party, Topan Kiribati Party, or in short TKP, which has a number of policies which mainly provides giveaways to the people, and these are quite popular. And regardless of whether the judiciary is intact or disintegrated, or whether the economy is not performing well, or the medical health care is not up to par, people tend to forget about all those other important issues. With their daily issues, just getting food on the table and getting by each day.